Alright everyone, hello, it's Soul17 here. Let me show you as usual. This is not a paid video, and I didn't own this picture. Alright, so, here's the thing. I was kind of looking up many different what-ifs of Jason. They say Deku was, Jason Voorhees. I do have a tendency to say Jason Voorhees, but, I don't know why, I just have a tendency to say it like that. But I know it's Voorhees, so you may hear me say it say it sometimes differently than Voorhees, so yeah. Alright, so basically, quick little discussion here. Jason has been alive for about 150 years. Basically on the age of quirks. Right when the time he came around, Jason died in his mid-30s in this one. He had a quirk that basically is called determination. Don't ask why. It just works in my head. So basically, he got killed by fake heroes and basically mafia, aka villains. He was technically like one of the first heroes, quote unquote heroes, basically. Ones that were, when they were around, just starting out. So because he was at Crystal Lake, basically. He was basically flown to the bottom of the lake. Next thing you know, he basically didn't want to die. He was determined not to die. The mask appeared on him. Basically, he came back to life. His quirk, determination, made a physical manifestation of itself. So yeah, so basically, he died in his 30s. 150 years later, he has basically killed many villains, heroes, civilians. Alright? He had nothing really bother him. He had all the abilities he has, you can say from the movies, from the games, whatever. Basically, in this one, he can teleport. Over time, he gained new strengths, and he became a supernatural being. He does have the regeneration, so yeah. Anyways, we're gonna be starting our story off in America, where Izuku's first year in middle school decided to take a trip to America because of a certain fair, a science fair, actually, that the teacher won for the class. And so this science teacher, basically they visited the actual fair, the science event, or fair you want to say. I just call it a fair. And they basically had to make a pit stop at Crystal Lake. And there are two people in this story that are a part of this class. One's from Shiketsu, another one's from Class 1A, and another person's from Class 1A. So, basically, Bakugo in this one is less of Bakugo in canon. He's he's still a bully, but he's really nice to Izuku. They're not buddies, but they're friends still. Bakugo would never say to him like he did in canon about the swine dive. So, yeah. So, basically, we're going to start off. Their story is, well, three people are basically moving Izuku over to, while he's sleeping, over to a square wooden board. As what I'm saying, is he gonna wake up? As anyone basically the other person says, no, he's not gonna wake up. He's a heavy sleeper. I asked him. Because, honestly, I was making so much noise in my room, he didn't wake up. As the other person was like, okay, thank God. I don't want him to wake up before we finish our prank. The guy basically that's there saying, I know, it's gonna be hilarious. So they get him over to the plank of wood, as then the guy says, hey, I don't have a flashlight. Can one of you or both of you go get me one? As they like, sure. He goes, thanks. So, when these two people leave, the boy has a grin on his face. He goes to a nearby bush that he basically had a concrete block and rope. And just goes over to, after he basically lifts it up and grabs the rope, he goes over back to the board and ties the actual concrete block. Yeah, ties the rope onto the concrete block and then goes over to Izuku's feet and ties them both together. And he's just thinking, Mako is gonna be thankful I did this, you quirkless loser. And no, this is not one of the canon. This is not the goons from canon. This is someone else, someone that's also from Class 1A. So, when these two people came back, they said, "We can only just find something like this. It's a little flashlight, but it's enough, right?" As he goes, "Yeah, that's fine." So, basically, they started pushing the board with Izuku's mat and Izuku on, his mat, bed, basically mat, into the water of Crystal Lake. So, no one, but for some reason, the girl, basically it's just two girls and one guy, basically, are like waiting for Izuku to make some sound and splash so they can turn on the water and just start laughing. So after it gets deeper, not deeper, farther away, the actual, I forgot to mention he did cover up the cement block so they don't know. So basically, right when the board starts sinking, this is when Izuku basically rolls over and he basically hears the sound of splash. Touches the water basically. And this does wake him up actually. As a sensory, because it's weird for him. He doesn't know why, but every time some stuff can wake him up. He's a heavy sleeper on everything else, but it's like, you basically put something near his face, he'll wake up as soon as it hits it. Like water, pie, anything. And he goes like, "What the?" As all of a sudden, he basically sees, and then a flash of light hit his eyes as he goes like, the light! Basically, because he just woke up and it's dark out, then a light hits him, he gets blinded for a few minutes, and he falls into the water. Because of this, the cement block goes into the water and then pulls him down. As basically they're just kind of laughing a little. The girls are, while the boy is too. And well, after they only laugh for a few minutes, but then they don't see Izuku or like any sound. They are like freaking out. The guy said he's fine, and then he looks and the girls already run. They're really trying to get someone to help him. Meanwhile, though, while this was going down, somebody was in the tree line watching from the shadows. A figure with a hockey mask and a jacket. Basically, he sees the girls run, and before he leaves, he's looking at the guy. He thinks he's going to run in and save the kid, isn't he? But instead, the boy just sits down, and he has a grin on his face. As he goes, I better make sure those girls actually get help. So he basically teleports, following the girls, basically, as they do get to, the teacher's area. So, but this man already knows what's happening. We all know it's Jason, as I said, in hockey mask. So, yeah, as basically Jason knows they're already too late. The kid's already dead by now. As he teleports back over to where near the lake, as the boy that was sitting there just gets up and just says, "You're out of the way, you quirkless loser." Man, it's gonna be a lot more easier to trick Bakugo. Just walking away. And so Jason just be like, "Damn brat." So he goes into the water, starts walking. He basically Izuku was so deep into the water that no one could actually get to him without any like scuba gear. So he sees Izuku basically floating in the water with just his feet tied to the rope, with because of the rope. And then he takes out his machete and cuts the rope and has Izuku. I'm saying this one because he technically became a supernatural being. Um, he does have like a little place in the lake, so he can just go and rest. So basically, imagine there's a house that's in the lake. As it goes over to it and just well, and then he just basically does this. When he basically gets to this house in the lake, he basically opens up the door and closes it. For some reason, that whole entire inside of this place is all just dry and not like just the water's not coming into this. Also, I want you guys to know something real quick before I keep going on. I may be combining some other stuff into this what if. Say, like the TV show, I don't own the characters' names on or anything, but or the TV show, Supernatural. I may bring the characters, the Winchesters, into it for a brief moment. Just referencing them. And some other stuff, like some horror movie characters. And I did forget to mention, I'm gonna be trying making this mix with a little bit of the Jason slasher killing thing, killer vibes, with my normal humor and canon life Izuku thing, story. All right, I just want you guys to know that for going on, and I'm sorry if you guys don't like that, but that's how I like to do. I like to mix some stuff with, but I like to make my stuff have humor. So, you know, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. So basically, like I was saying though, he basically puts Izuku down the bed that was there. He basically knows the kid's dead, and something pops into his head. Since he's been to hell, he knows there's ways to bring someone back, and he can sense that this kid is angry, but there's something different about him. Something more than just a vengeful spirit that Jason is. There's something more. He only knows the other type of feeling as a guardian, a protector, a desire to be it, a protector of the innocent. So, unlike Jason, this kid is different. He may have a lot more potential, and he's already tired and old. So, he does bring back, and he puts his hand on Zuko's chest, and well, because of his quirk determination, if he basically is very determined to, bring someone back from the dead, and a little bit of black magic or dark magic, basically, Izuku will wake up. But what happens in the meantime, they call the police. They tried to get Izuku. And they tried to find him. Well, basically. And the only reason why they couldn't get to this because the house was deeper into the lake that they didn't have the right equipment to go into. But so they kind of just said he died. The girls said there was just a prank. They didn't know what happened. He was posted. He knew how to swim, and they just did this. And these girls are crying. They said that the cops in America says, you know what this place is, right? They're like, what? He's like, this is a place of the legend Jason Voorhees, the killer, the serial killer, right? He basically lives in the lake. That's what the legend says. The cops are telling the teacher, and he's like, I don't know, the teachers. And he's like, we had to rest here for the night. Our driver was tired, and he was like, it doesn't matter. The kid's in the lake then. The whole reason why he's not coming up because he's already dead. You gotta get your students and yourselves out of here as quickly as possible. As they feel guilty, and the teacher feel like it's his fault, along with the girls. The guy doesn't. As basically Bakugo's like, Denki, what the fuck happened to Deku? As he goes, well, we didn't know Jason Voorhees was in the lake, Bakugo. Come on. I mean, Jiro and Cammy over here didn't know either. How was I supposed to know? I mean, we're not really from America and we don't know the language very well. But, I mean, clearly you could have told us if you knew, Kachan. It's like, don't ever call me that dunce face. If I hear you call it again, I will explode you. And basically that's how that discussion went. And our friend Denki grins at this. He goes, now my most problematic challenge is out of the way. Let's see how it is in UA when I get all the information I need from them. In the third year when I'm at UA, I'll just help destroy the UA and Hero Society itself. So, yes, I'm going down, if you guys realize, I'm going down the Trader Denki route. So, a couple months pass. Inko already knew about Izuku's death by Jason Voorhees. She was hurt, and when Missy did try to visit her during one time, she did try to end her life. But Mitsuki stopped her. So, Mitsuki made her come live with her. So yeah, but during these months, Izuku all of a sudden starts coughing out water. He's like, how the hell am I alive? What the And he's looking around. He doesn't see nothing until he hears a voice saying, took you about 4 months, kid. Which Izuku looks over and he's like, who the hell are you? He's like, me? Well, I'm Jason Voorhees. You? Izuku Midoriya. Where are we? He goes, well, we're under Crystal Lake. Or should I say, we're at the bottom of the lake, the deepest part. This is my home away from home. And, well, kid, you died. He was like, what? No. Then how am I? He goes, I brought you back. You're a vengeful spirit now. And you're going to want revenge on the people who killed you. And, well, I had to pour in some of my, well, not power, but use some knowledge I know along with my quirk. So you may get some of my memories along with the knowledge of what happened to, the people that killed you. Or just a person that killed you. He's like, what do you mean? I'll get knowledge. And stop being crazy, you motherfucker. Jason Voorhees doesn't exist. Just a legend. As he goes, I'm right here in the flesh, kid. If you don't believe me, open up the door. I mean, it's just gonna be one long swim up. Izuku gets out of the bed and opens up the door, and he sees just water. He closes it right away. He goes like, how the hell is that possible? He's like, I'm a supernatural being. I've been living over 150 years. I died when I was 30, kid. You learn a thing or two about using your powers for something else. It's like, supernatural. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of things you don't know about this world, kid. Like, I don't know. Since I've been alive for so long, I'm able to see people's souls. And your soul became a little bit, I think, tainted. He's like, what? Tainted? But you want revenge. But you also have a pure heart. Basically, you are a spirit of vengeance, but you're something else. I don't know what, but doesn't matter. So, listen here. I'm tired of living. I want to finally rest in peace. And he was like, what do you mean? Tired. He's like, look, I've been dead since I'm in my mid-30s, and I've been alive for 150 years. Well, you figure it out. As he goes, so you just want to rest. So I decided to find a successor. Well, I mean, if I could find one. And, well, it took me about 20 years, but I finally found one. And just note that's not added on to the 150. That's while they're in the 150. It was okay. So what? Since you brought me back from the dead, I'm a vengeful spirit. You want to? Yeah. You take on the mantle of Jason Voorhees. I'm not gonna train you or nothing. I'm just gonna give you the mask and wish you luck. He's like, really? He goes, yeah, pretty much. I mean, you basically get abilities the more you grow. I mean, well, it's gonna be 2 years till you fully master your abilities. So, yeah, have fun with that. Besides, I mean, you can do anything you want since you're already technically immortal. He's like, what? Yeah, I mean, after a while you won't be able to bleed much or at all, and then, I mean, who knows? May not be able to have any kids, but I think that's the only thing I can have that I never had because I felt killed so much. But she's like, is this guy serious? I mean, whatever. Okay, fine. I'll become your successor. So, how does this work? As Jason just takes off the mask and just put it in Izuku's hand, but as soon as it starts glowing red, basically. As well, Izuku was blinded by this light for a few minutes and then it stops. And then basically, Izuku looks at Jason and he can see like half his freaking face was blown off. His hair looks like it was burnt. He has some burnt face. He then like even has like one eye popping out of his face, and it's just like half of it, like one side of his jaw, the side of his mouth is opened up, and he's like, regeneration. After a while, it got slower. This means I'm just not ready. Or I mean, not ready. I mean, I'm not as I used to be, kid. So, thanks. By the way, that mask was my quirk, determination. Basically, the more I am determined, the more powerful I became. So, basically, since I was determined to make you my successor, I basically passed my quirk along to you, because it's the physical manifestation of the mask. And now, since the mask is given to you, you basically have the quirk. And yes, you were quirkless, so I know. And, well, you may even get some more quirks along the way, kid. Which Izuku was like, what do you mean more? He's like, determination. It gave me more abilities. As he basically opens up the thing, open up the door and goes like, anyways, enjoy your time. You're gonna become the new Jason Voorhees. Get stronger, get taller. Alright? Good luck, kid. As I say, Jason just walks back to his cabin, and then we'll rest for all eternity. Finally dying forever. Now, we do a time skip to 2 years. Since basically they were based on the middle school, they were not 13 yet, they were only 12. 2 years pass. Izuku has killed many villains, many fakes in America, taken their money because he's planning to get back to America. I mean, from America to Japan. He's planning to, he basically takes the money of the dead bodies, ripping them to shreds, ripping up the jaw part, basically just doing whatever. And well, what happens next? We go to a little scene where Izuku is basically just counting money in one of the cabins. He goes 2,575, 2,578, 96, 2,577. I know I have enough, but I need to make sure I try to find a place to live for a while until I get back home. Man, I can't believe I've been killing so much. I mean, the memories of Jason, he became a serial killer, even just because of those dumb idiots. I wonder how my mom's been. So, if you guys are wondering how much Izuku has grown, basically he has elemental manipulation. He can manipulate any form of the elements. Basically, he has Jason's super strength, endurance, basically speed, and agility, along with his regeneration. And also, he can also teleport. So, yeah. Another thing that Izuku has gained is height. He's the same height as Ida, but he's a little more bulkier than Ida. I mean, he's basically bigger than, muscle size wise, but he's not the same. He's not the same as Jason. He was more agile. This basically version of Jason, which everyone's been calling him Jason Voorhees, has been in Crystal Cove for the past 2 years in the Crystal Town, just killing villains, getting money. People come to the lake that are basically villains or, pro heroes that are fakes, and or civilians that try to destroy the place. He basically kills. He takes their money. So, I mean, they call him Jason Voorhees, and they don't know what happened to him. He used to be bigger, now he's smaller, but then he got taller, and what the... So, basically, Izuku should not be able to grow, get any bigger, basically get any taller, just to be staying the same size, but I need that to change. I need him to get a little bit taller, so that way he'll stop. But anyways, so what happens is, on this fateful night, he starts hearing cars coming into the camp. As then he basically sees 5 cars and about maybe 40 people, about 20 to 25 people. Along with a girl that looks like the leader is taken into a cabin. As he basically hears one of them laughing and saying, I can't believe we took this rich girl from her family. Man, the boss can have some fun with her. And then we'll just give her back to her parents after they give us the money. As another guy just says, yeah, it's a shame that I can't have any fun with her. She's pretty cute for a kid. I mean, she's only how old? As Izuku goes sickos. So, Izuku basically had the mask on his side as he puts it on his face, and just teleporting all the way over to the cabin that he saw the man and the girl, basically go into. Since Izuku gets in there, he basically sees the guy saying, alright, girl, we're gonna have some fun. Come over here so I can start it already. As the girl's saying, no, let me alone. Just leave me alone already. Why you... As, he grabs her by her shirt and he's about to rip it off until he just feels a hand on his neck. As he goes, what the... As Zuko basically turns him around and, let's just say there's a piece of, sharp piece of wood. As he stabbed the guy in the eye all the way to the brain. So he couldn't say nothing. As the girl was about to... Just horrified as then he rips him out, shoves his other eye back into there, and basically opened up his mouth over to a part, the frame of a bed that's there, puts his mouth on it, and then hits his head, breaking it. Looks like it just was chopped off. As then Izuku looks over at the girl, and she goes, What? Are you here? As Izuku then just disappears into out of nowhere in smoke. As then all of a sudden, outside, she can hear a guy saying, "Holy crap! It's Jason Voorhees!" Basically, he just was trying to say more, and he was being choked to death by branches or vines. And then I was like, what the? Jason! As basically, he just gets impaled from the mouth. And then used that to hit another one of his friends into one of the vehicles. As just, it was like, it's Voorhees! He's real! Open fire and kill him! As well, Izuku then disappears. What happens next is it's just a rip and tear of carnage. One of them basically two of them get skewered and then basically ripped open. Another one just gets thrown into fire head first, basically, while the other one gets basically smacked into a car and door, as in it bent, as then he basically grabs the dude and just starts slamming the car door after basically he puts his head in between the inside and the outside of the car, and then he just starts crushing the dude's head with the car door. So yes, Izuku basically brutalized, killed them. And so because of this little thing, after the whole entire bloodshed was done, Izuku goes over to the door and he opens it and he says, "Come on, they're dead. Come out now, girl." And she goes, "What the? Okay." As she just sees like a blood scene, like a mass murder, like, and she looks over the side, she realizes he has a fucking machete on his side and it is covered in blood. And she goes, "Did you kill them?" And he was like, "Yeah, I did. I mean, they had guns. What was I supposed to do? I mean, it was kill or be killed. And besides, I saved your ass." And she goes, "Thank you." By the way, he goes like, "I didn't save you for thanks. You don't have to thank me or try to give me anything." As well, Izuku goes over to the dead corpse and goes through their wallets, and he gets a pretty decent amount of cash. It was like 50, 70, 80, 100. Cool. Have enough money now to get back to Japan. And she goes, "Japan?" It's like, "Yeah, I have some unfinished business there to attend to." As well, through Jason's memories, he learned who's the one who tied that cinder block to his feet. The one who basically wanted, Izuku to die. Denki Kaminari. He goes, I'm gonna make sure I rip your jaw off and feed you to a wood chipper, you bastard. So, and then she goes, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, unfinished business. Now, better call the authorities and get you, or take you back to Crystal Town." And they can. As then all of a sudden he hears a landing, and he goes, "Never fear, civilian, for I am here." And he turns around and he goes like, "Why did it have to be All Might? Which ponies shot that All Might's in America?" If you guys are wondering why, let's have a little bit of a flashback. So, as basically a year ago, right when the second year of UA right when the second year is about to start, and he was about to start working at UA, he gets a phone call from an old friend of America, a police officer, and he basically goes like, "Thomas, it's been a while." He was like, "Toshinori, we have a problem." He was like, "What is it?" "The case. Jason Voorhees." And All Might's like, "He's back?" "Yeah, but we don't have clear evidence that it is him. That there's been signs of a slasher been going around Crystal Town and the camp. Bodies have been turning up. Sometimes left for a whole time, like sometimes in pieces, other times in safety. We don't know why though. I need your help, Toshi. It's been over about 50, 70 years. Not as young as I used to be. He was. It's only been about 25. But yes, I understand. I started this case with you a long time ago. Our last encounter with Jason was very problematic. Yes, yeah. So you mind coming back on the case? It's gonna be a year worth. It's gonna be a year of you being in America. Sorry, but that's how big this case is. We had to get many different proofs and eyewitness reports. But the problem is, though, the plan has to be very precise and timed. So, I know you may not like it since you're starting your career as a teacher in UA, but please, I need your help, old friend. And basically, All Might thinks about it, and then he sighs and goes like, "All right, I'll make a report. I'll make an announcement to the Hero Commission and to heroes. They'll know." All right. As he nods, as basically he goes, "Thanks, man. Thank you, old friend. It's no problem. We'll catch him and bring Jason Voorhees to justice for all those murders." And basically, if you're wondering, did Jason, though, before Izuku became Jason, did he kill teens? Yes, he did. Alright, so, anyways, so that's what you know. He did tell the Hero Commission, and they basically they told, media knew about it because of leaked, and basically there's a press conference. He said he was a part of an old case back in America that it reopened, and his old friend just asked him to basically come back and help him out with it. It's gonna be a year, but I will return. I promise you that, young citizens of Japan. I will return well and alive. So yeah. So now we're back to the present time. As basically All Might says, he basically sees a civilian and he goes like, "Evildoer, let go of the civilian." And basically Zuko's like, "He's joking, right?" He's like, no, actually, I don't think he is." And then, he goes like, "Realize." Basically, all of a sudden, like, All Might's dashing towards Izuku, and then he just teleports over to a, stump, and then he just sitting on crossing his right leg over his left. He's like, "Wow, All Might, I didn't expect you to actually attack someone who just saved your civilian." And then All Might goes like, "Stop." Looks over to where he sees and heard the voice, and then he realizes, he goes, "Voorhees, you're under arrest for the crimes of killing many." And then basically Zuko just tilts his head and he was like, "Voorhees? Jason Voorhees." He goes, "Voorhees? How do you... Oh... Yeah, that makes sense then." Well, actually, I'm not Jason. Which All Might didn't realize. He goes, "Wait, you can talk?" He's like, "Yes, I'm not Jason, so that's the reason why." He's like, "Wait, then who are?" We should probably wait for your backup or friends. Alright, so, anyways, I'm the one who killed all these people. The guy that's in the cabin over there points to the doors open, was about to try to have his way with this girl, so I showed him the point. Why he shouldn't. He can't do nothing permanently. Or at all anymore. So, it's like, did he just laugh because he killed somebody? And, when the police get there of America and a few probes, they had their guns pointed at Izuku, and he's like, "Hospitality? I would be showing you guys mine, but I'm sorry, I have no cups or drinks." As basically Tommy comes up, he was like, "Jason Voorhees, I presume." He's like, "Wrong." As then he takes off, he moves the mask to his side, not take off. As they were like, what the? I thought your face would be more grotesque, as Izuku says, hideous, burnt, shot up, basically. Well, I'm not Jason. My name is Izuku Midoriya. I basically became the successor of Jason Voorhees, you can say. But I don't think I am, so. Eh. Which everyone's confused, and he was like, allow me to explain the situation. So he explains about Jason's past before being Jason Voorhees, the serial killer, and then he explains about his own past and how he became this way. And so he goes like, well, that's everything you need to know, officers. So, I know killing's wrong, but I mean, I did put no trespassing signs around the place. And along with, there have been very many corrupt heroes. And a few, actual heroes. Like that guy over there. Izuku points over to him and goes like, he's been doing some stuff behind his agency's back, and, well, it just involves villain work. And which everyone's confused how Izuku knows. He goes, well, basically, since I've been dead for about 2 years, I'm able to see things that most people can't. So, yeah. Whew. Oh man, crud. I need to try to wake up later, but So everyone's like confused what he means. He goes like, okay, I can see the souls of people. Black souls are tainted and corrupted. White souls are pure-hearted. Now, before anyone asks, no. So, anyways. If you guys excuse me, I'm gonna go grab my cash and then go get a ride over to Japan. Which everyone is shocked by the legendary Jason Voorhees. Voorhees is gonna leave Crystal Lake. And he's like, okay, why are you so surprised? Like, I'm able to talk. I'm able to do everything like the old Jason did, but better. Because I can. Because I can also do some other stuff too. So, All Might's looking at him, and he just says, I mean, what's your dream, young Midoriya? It's like, to become a hero. Which, that shocked everyone. He was like, yeah, I know, shocker, I became a serial killer. I mean, I was basically forced to drown. So, as everyone's kind of shocked by that, and, well. Let's just say, some basically people are asking questions. He then goes on and explains some stuff. I even found out Denki was a part of UA, but was found out by the trader because he basically blabbed an outfit to, not to Baka, but over the phone talking to Davi. So yeah. He laughed at that. Now, continuing on. So basically, All Might looks at Izuku and, well, he asks, do you want me to help bring you back to Japan? It's like, yeah, that'd be great. And then Pony says, do you mind if I hitch a ride? I was gonna leave to go to Japan to the entrance exam. And All Might's like, not at all. I do not mind. If you guys are wondering why the entrance exam, if it's been 2 years, like 13, then to 14. It's because I'm kind of making Class 1A about to become Class 1-2. I mean, not Class 1-2, Class 2A, so yeah. And, well, it's basically, Class 1B is going to be still the same. Class 1A is going to be different, but, well, some stuff is going to happen. Is it because of Denki, though, they kind of, like, are still going to be in Class 1A, but they're really Class 2A, because, they can't let anyone know what happened. So, yeah. But anyways, so All Might, like I said, agreed, and he just tells Izuku to get anything he wants, from his place where he lived. And well, Pony's parents arrived and they hug her and such. They thank the cops and the heroes for helping out their daughter and All Might. And he goes, "I did nothing. It was him." As Izuku just appeared with a freaking bag that was of, well, a bag just filled of whatever he has as a decoration for 2 years. Which Pony's parents are quite scared. But anyways, so what happens? Zuko arrive in Japan. I mean, Inko, though, is not around because of a villain attack. They say just a robber. She basically just mind her own business, and the cashier will not give them money, so he made an example out of her. And yeah, so, yeah, anyways. So basically, when he goes back in Japan, Nazo was there to greet him, and he basically told what he was missing. Which he was kind of upset that his mom died, but she'd be in a better place. So yeah. But anyways, though, Izuku basically the only reason why he's able to was able to understand because he figured out that in supernatural abilities he's able to understand any language, like legit any language, even if it's like a dead language. So yeah, and well has well basically he told Nezu his story on what happened. Nezu was horrified that Denki was able to do that. And yeah, and he basically found out even Kami and Jiro got into the hero, course. So, so basically he was just surprised and chuckles about it. But anyways, the whole entire reason why is he has to go do the entrances in is because of, well, he told them about it, how he has two quirks. And All Might has been trying to decide on giving him one for all. You can leave that in the comments if you guys want it or not. Just imagine that Izuku Midoriya can fully have 100% of one for all right away. So yeah. As well, Izuku even visit Bakugo. Bakugo was shocked to see he was alive. He told him how he survived. He was just happy to see him. Mitsuki was happy. And well, Mitsuki told him he's living here from now on since, well, Inko. He was like, I know. So basically, they kind of like just took him in, kind of like adoption, but not really. I mean, he's still like 14. It's just like he's gonna stop aging around 20 or 18. So yeah. Anyways, Baku. I mean, it was like during this, like when they found Izuku was during the summer, so yeah. So basically, it's like they only have a couple months to train, and Baku learns very quickly how strong Izuku is, how fast he is, and he's like, "How the heck are you so big yet so quiet and fast?" He was like, "I don't know. Why are you so loud and explosive?" He's like, you. And he just smiles, and well, they fight, well, train, and he also has about that mask. They always need it on to be unkillable or have the powers. He's like, oh no, since the mask itself glowed, it basically made me have the quirk determination. The more I have of it, the stronger I'll be. So yeah. Anyways, Bakugo. Anyways, Kachan. How was Cammy and Jiro and my mom? I think he just tells how Cammy was like really, really shocked and she was in denial sometimes. Jiro was just locked herself in the room, didn't come to school, so she became homeschooled. Which Izuku was like, Yeah, I figured that much. Anyways, so after the training session and him actually be able to control a lot more of the elements, way more easier. That basically isn't just like the natural like fire, earth, wind, and water. Yeah, he basically learned how to control other elements, which he does bring Bakugo for to help. Now, Bakugo says, "What do you mean? I'm going to be coming with you." He's like, "Huh? But I thought you say." Oh yeah. Here's the thing. Every year, the students have to take the exact same test as the newcomers. So it doesn't even matter. We're still gonna be in class 1A, cause Denki. So it's like yeah. But anyways, I guess see you when I see you, Kachan. He's like, yeah, no problem. So basically, they go their separate ways, and I think I should end it there because I am getting tired. Like I'm starting to doze off. If you guys don't know, I'm starting to just get tired and dozing off. I'm sorry. I would have made this like an hour or 20 something, but I was trying so hard to stay awake. So I hope you guys can understand this. I'll be making part two if you guys want it right away. So anyways, bye everyone. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Stay safe.